What is up, guys? How are we doing? Episode 4 of the catch up. Sorry for the delay on this episode. Um, Making sure that everything is looking good here as you all are coming in. Welcome, 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 everyone. Yes. Good afternoon. Right now, the Yankees are playing in Mexico with Trevor Bauer making the start for Team Mexico. And I believe it was Thule by his last name that made the start for the Yankees. But welcome in, everyone that's coming on in. What up, Donnie Clark? Happy to see you again. Man, it's an interesting time in Yankees land. I always say that. I feel like every time I hop on here. Sorry I couldn't make it on Friday. I was celebrating my mom's birthday out in Tampa. And then right after that, I had the very awesome privilege and opportunity to see John Boy Media, Talking Yanks, Jimmy, Jake, BBD, Joe's, McFly, all of them. They had a special Talking Yanks. I want to say watch party, but it wasn't on TV. It was live at the stadium, George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. I also had to have that opportunity to be there. And that was super fun, super fun, and got to meet them. They're a huge inspiration as to why I start the channel. And they're just awesome dudes. If you guys ever have the opportunity to check out their stuff, obviously you guys probably have. They're the biggest out there when it comes to the Yankees and baseball news. But if you had the opportunity to see them live in any event, I encourage you to go. They are awesome people, awesome dudes. And a lot of guys that I got to meet that are part of the behind the scenes to make it all happen that you normally don't get to see on camera. Those people are amazing as well. But anyways, this episode, we are having a very special preseason episode. This is going to be the last catch-up episode of the preseason, of the spring training, of the offseason. As we head into the regular season, things are going to be being a lot more fast-paced, a lot more exciting. Super excited for opening day. Again, we talked about in the last episode that Nestor Cortez is going to be getting the nod for the opening day start when we visit Houston Astros at their stadium. What a first series to be a part of or just see as an opening day series. And hopping right into that, we are going to be talking about the starting five rotation. And we're going to be talking about Luis Gil making the fifth spot of the rotation. Super exciting. The news, I believe, came out yesterday afternoon or this morning. I've been getting my days mixed up a little bit. Have been very busy. But not too long ago, Luis Gil got the nod for the fifth start of the rotation, and I am very ecstatic. If you guys don't know, before this, I was a big advocate of Clayton Beeter, but I didn't even know Luis Gil was a part of the running. I honestly thought he was going to be, at the time, was going to be more of a relief pitcher role, especially because they wanted to protect his arm coming off of, I believe, Tommy John surgery. Not sure if he got off of anything else, but he was out for a while. If you guys don't know, this is his, I can't remember, few years back, 18, 19 stats. This is, or not even stats, excuse me, but highlights that you see on the screen. So that was really the last time that he was in pinstripes in regular season. And there's no doubt, no one denies his incredible stuff. Actually, no one really denies him at all as a pitcher. He's always been profiled as a great pitcher with great stuff, electric fastball, an amazing, just amazing, super awesome pitcher. The only issue has obviously been his health, seeing that he's been out for so long with, I believe, dealing with Tommy John. So he's back, he's ready to go, and I am so ecstatic to see him be in our fifth spot of the rotation. We never want to be happy whenever any of our mainstay pitchers, let alone our ace, let alone the best pitcher in baseball, is out of our starting rotation in Garrett Cole. But it is very exciting to see that we get to give Luis Gil an opportunity. What's up, Brandon Moore? What is up, man? I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen you commented before live, so I'm so happy to see you in the chat live in this episode. Brandon says Luis Gil will be an excellent fifth starter of the rotation. maybe makeup of a loss for Garrett Cole until he returns from injury. And I agree. I know it sounds crazy to say, and that's kind of what I was saying. You never want to wish the loss of Garrett Cole, especially in a rotation with our own insecurities that we have with health and so on and so forth. But I think we got an awesome guy to fill in the spot. And Donnie Clark says that he thinks Warren should have been the 5th spot. I like that take. I like that idea. I would have been very happy as well and very excited to see what Will Warren would have had produced for us. And you never know. So the report has been that Luis Gil will be the 5th starter in our rotation with no pitching or inning limitations. Now, though we don't know how he's going to perform, we wish the best, but I think, okay, this is a lot to kind of take in now that I'm talking about it with you guys live, but even let's say Luis Gil can't figure it out as a starter, and even Donnie Clark says here he thinks Gil will be a better in the pen. To Donnie's point, if let's say Gil underperforms, we don't want that to happen, and he's very capable of performing very well, but in case he doesn't perform well, right? You could easily put Gil in the bullpen, and then again, we're trying to stretch. Stay with me. We're trying to stretch Loaizaga to a multiple inning guy, similar to what Mike King is. Let's say Loaizaga can't figure that out, right? You have Luis Gil that can easily do that role. He's done it before, obviously when he's not injured, so he could also fill in that void in the bullpen. And then we always got Will Warren that could come in and get a few starts. And so I feel, obviously, Gil has the pressure of wanting to be a mainstay in the rotation. But in terms of Yankee front office making moves, there's little pressure on their end and little risk on their end to have Gil be the 5th starter. Because to Donnie's point and to a lot of Yankee fans' point, Will Warren could have easily have been the 5th starter. Some say he should have been the 5th starter. And I'm totally okay with that as well. But it's just, I think the Yankees are in an awesome position to be in. And if you guys don't follow me on X, shameless plug, follow me over on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok. I've talked a lot about this, that I'm more than okay with missing out on a guy like Lorenzen. I actually was not really a fan of him being on a rotation, but missing out on him, and I was okay with us not giving the deal that Snell was asking for, despite it being a short-term deal, despite it having opt-outs, because I believe in our depth, and the Yankees got a lot of depth, pitching depth. We gave up a lot of pitching depth, but we also required a lot of pitching depth this offseason, so tap into it. We protected guys from being traded off. There's a reason why, and we should prove that. Let it show. Make them play this year, especially in every game matters, right? But if we were to ever give young guys a shot, why not let it be in the beginning of the season when we're at a clean slate? We're not really playing a game of catch-up if we are falling behind in the standings. So this is a best-case scenario to let some of these guys shine. Brandon says, watching Jason at 161 River Ave, he's awesome. He says Hal Steinberger isn't like his father. The late George Steinbrenner, which was pretty fruitful. Everybody thinks they're tough. They look very stupid. Not sure what you mean by that. But you are absolutely right in the sense that Hal is not like his father. Definitely not. Though I don't want to take anything away from Hal or the front office and how they've handled this offseason. They've handled it very well, I thought. They did the due diligence of trying to get big names. Some may say we missed out on Yamamoto. Again, it's too soon to tell, but look how bad he's doing right now. So that's been aging well as of right now. And again, we have depth that we're able to tap into. So I think we got the guys we needed. We're letting the guys play that we need to play. That's another thing. I feel like the Yankees a year or two ago would have gotten a veteran to fill in that 5th spot. And then our young guys would have never played. And then we're clogging them up again, dropping their values, so on and so forth. So I'm so far, I want to give credit. I'm liking what the Yankees are doing. I'm not falling over my back on my seat and in love and thinking that we are the best team in baseball. But man, I'm gonna talk about this later on in this episode. Have we made amazing strides versus last year? Donnie says Beater would have been better. better than Heel in the rotation. So it seems like we don't have a lot of we're not a lot of us are unanimously excited to see Hill in the 5th spot. Some saying also that Beater would have also been an awesome spot. Listen, I think this is just a testament to how great of a potential our young guys have, and how much depth we have to fall back on. We have 2 to 3 months without Cole. So that's 2 to 3 months of figuring out who can be a great starting pitcher for us. And at the end of the day, once those 3 months are up, I mean, again, not saying that, I mean, I hope, knock on wood, that every other pitcher is going to be healthy throughout the season. But if not, then we got more depth to tap into. What's up, Yuki? So glad to see you live in the chat. It says, man, this is kind of in the way. Volpe, Judge, and Dominguez wants you to shout me out. Oh, wait. Well, I'll shout you out at least. What's up, Yuki? Yes, and totally agree with you. Brandon says, Jason said that even George Steinbrenner wasn't perfect, and I 100% agree. And you're right. George would have fired Cashman, Boone, would have signed Snell and the troublemaker Bauer, which is true. I honestly, that's an interesting take to consider. I think George Steinbrenner would have taken the bait on someone like Trevor Bauer, despite the controversy or whatever's revolving around him. So that's a very interesting take, Brandon. I really, really like that. But looks like our starting rotation solidifying as Carlos, or I guess not Carlos Rodon at the 1 spot. I guess it's Nestor Cortez because he's the opening day starter. But we got Nestor Cortez at the 1. 2 is Rodon. And then we got Stroman, Schmidt, Heel. Solid enough to get us started in the season. So super excited to see how they all turn around. Marcus Stroman ended his spring training with a solid spring training as well. I think he had ended the spring training with a 2.31 ERA, which again is not everything, but it means something. Had good starts, had some struggles. That's all a part of spring training. I don't expect anyone to be lights out. If anything, you want some of those struggles to happen in spring training, those high pressure moments in spring training, so they could get the feel of pitching around those moments. Another pitcher that has had the ups and downs of spring training this year, Carlos Rodon. And Carlos Rodon was very, very good, very reliable for us. Again, knock on wood. Very reliable for us. When no hits for a little over 5 innings, 1 outing. He had like 1 earned run in another outing. Previous to that, this last outing, he got a few runs. But I was there at that game when he pitched. Not a lot of hard contact. And a lot of people were mentioning that. Not a lot of hard contact. Maybe 1 or 2 hard hit balls, and that was about it. It was a lot of down the line hits, bloopers, things like that. So this wasn't an outing that any of us in the event with Talking Yanks were really bothered by or overwhelmed or feeling like, oh no, this Rodon is falling apart. It was kind of one of the, like, you're going to have some of those outings. And again, it's spring training. He's probably working on stuff. Some people were concerned at his velocity dropping again. I'm not too worried about it. I think he's going to be fine. We haven't heard anything. I think I'm excited to see what Carlos Rodon is going to do for us. It is clear that he is on the trajectory to be much better than what he was for us last year. So that alone, I'm already excited for. So super, super excited for that. Now hopping right into the second topic of the day is the opening day lineup. And I kind of want to have a little bit of Anthony Volpe playing in the background where we talk about this. Donnie says, let the kids play. Let's see. Let's make it happen. I agree. What better time than the beginning of the season? And then, yes, Donnie, evaluate the deadline. Perfect plan. And again, this is a great plan for a team that has a foundation of Judge, has a foundation of now Soto included. Even, I know it sounds weird to say, but Verdugo in itself is a foundation. Lefty bat, left fielder, gold glove, left fielder, or outfielder, I should say. We have a strong foundation on this roster. Anthony Volpe, though, I think he's going to be amazing for us, which we're going to talk about in his second season. He's already showing growth, progression, and a different swing that's working for him. I think with that foundation, let the kids play again in the beginning of the season when we're still trying to figure out our depth. And at the end of the day, this is perfect tryouts for when we have roster expansion towards September, and we got to call up a few arms or a few position players as we head into the playoffs. I think this is a good opportunity for some of our other guys that we want to let the kids play. Here it is. So Brandon says, I think Marcus Stroman will do fine when the Yankees rotation. He'll step up in Garrett Cole's absence. I pick him to step up. I love that. And Brandon, just to piggyback on your take and let this be a hot take, I don't want this to feel like I'm too clickbaiting. I'm being real here. Someone said this on Twitter, and I forgot your tag, but I 100% agree with you when you said this. Someone said, hot take, Marcus Stroman is going to have a better year than Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And I agree. And that may not seem like a hot take based off of Yamamoto's lack of success so far, but I feel like he's going to figure it out. He's new to the league. But I think Stroman is absolutely going to step up, not just because of Cole's absence, but because of just being a part of the Yankees. He loves it. He's driven by it. I'm so excited. He can be, he is going to be special for us. I may be a little biased because he's a fellow Puerto Rican. So I am definitely biased when I'm saying this, but I think he's going to have a stellar season. I think he's going to have the season he should have had last year, which means he's going to have that first half of the season that he had last year, that amazing all-star, almost Cy Young caliber level season that he had last year. It got derailed from an injury in the second half. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have a very similar season to what he had last year minus the injury. So basically everything he had last year, just with the success. So I'm excited about that. Yuki says, are you tired of hearing Monty and Yankees rumors? I kind of am. And that's part of the reason why I haven't talked about it on the channel. You guys let me know. You guys, town hall little meeting here. If you guys want to hear me talk about what I think about Monty in a separate video. But I kind of haven't talked about it because I haven't been too moved by it. And I'm glad I haven't talked about it because it looks like we're not getting Monty. That kind of, with Heel getting the 5th start job, it seems almost certain we're not getting Jordan Montgomery. Now, again, as with a lot of things, this could be taken as a negotiation tactic, but I don't think the Yankees are that unethical to tell Heel that he has the job and tell the public he has the job and then go around and sign Monty and say, oh, sorry, Heel, you don't got the job anymore. So I feel like with us giving Heel the job, it's certain that Monty's not the case. So I almost don't see the point of even bringing that up. So, Brandon, I am so glad you're talking about this. You say Heel is injury prone, Donnie. First, sorry, I'm jumping. I agree. I don't want Heel to overdo it. Heel is injury prone. That could be the case, Donnie. But if that is the case, and I don't want that to happen to anyone, we have guys like you said, Donnie, Warren and Beater, that we are just as content with calling up as well. So, and then Donnie says, I think Monty has that bad trade taste in his mouth. I agree. I don't think he's going to want to come here, nor do I think the Yankees are willing to pay that price. And I think, honestly, may I argue, I'm more excited for Heel. It's a lower risk to have Heel be in this spot. So, Brandon Moore, hopping into the next topic, thank you for your starting rotation lineup. And let's compare and contrast, Brandon. Brandon, I'm going to read out your opening day lineup here. Hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot. Brandon says, leading off is Verdugo, Soto 2nd, Judge 3rd, Rizzo 4th, Torres 5th, 6th, Stanton, 7th, Wells, 8th, Cabrera or Kevin Smith, since DJ will be out most likely of opening day. Yes, that has been reported. And then Volpe at 9th. Love this lineup. Mine is not too far off from yours. And I really like the Verdugo at leadoff. One thing I would tweak is just because what I know the Yankees will probably do, not because I necessarily agree with the Yankees, is that I think the Yankees will put Stanton at 5th and Torres in 6th. But if they do Torres 5th, Stanton 6th, that's what I want ideally, just as you want, Brandon. And here's what I wanted to talk about with the starting lineup. This is why I've had Volpe playing for the last couple of minutes. I'm not advocating for Volpe to be the leadoff hitter, but there's been conversations about it on Yankees Twitter. There's been conversations about it, I believe, in the booth as well. You're also seeing him change his swing to a much more level swing. He's not trying to uppercut everything. You're seeing him hit a lot more line drives. You're also seeing him not just get a lot more line drives, but work the count a lot more. I was just watching the Mexico game before we got live here, and I saw a lot. He was 0-2 and kept fouling off against Trevor Bauer, which we know what his skill set is. Yes, he did strike out, but he made the count work. You also see the Yankees have a lot of opportunities for Volpe to hit leadoff. Now, that could just be a spring training thing, and I could see that being the case. But I wouldn't be surprised if Volpe gets a few starts at the leadoff position, or the not position, but leadoff part of the lineup, hitting number one. Excuse me for getting my words jumbled up. But with LeMahieu's absence, I think it easily could be a toss-up. I'm not too sure on who's going to be the leadoff hitter, and I honestly may think it may be a platoon spot in the same way that they treated DJ. That they were thinking of treating DJ and Verdugo as a left and righty platoon leadoff. I can see that doing that same thing with left righty Verdugo, Volpe, and then if Volpe struggles, they'll just drop him down in the ninth and have Verdugo be our everyday leadoff hitter until we figure out when DJ is going to return. And if that's the case, again, beginning of the season, I don't mind trying this out. But if we're in meaningful games and Volpe has shown he is still better as a number 9 hitter, let's not play these games, So, in this instance, I'm okay with having, again, for the beginning of the season, with Verdugo and Volpe interchangeably, Soto second, Judge third, or again, those may interchange as well, depending on lefty-righty matchups. I like Rizzo fourth, Torres fifth, Stanton sixth, Wells seventh, Cabrera eighth, and Volpe ninth if he's not hitting leadoff. So one thing I wanted to really address with our opening day lineup, 10 times better than last year's. Wow. 10 times better last year and 10 times better than any lineup that we've had last year. And some of our lineups, if you go back in some of my older videos, our lineups were pretty ugly last year. With Calhoun batting third, Jake Bauers also hitting like cleanup. It was a mess. IKF was like, I don't know where he was at sometimes. It was a rough lineup. Really, really rough lineup. So we made so much strides, so much progression, not just in the starting rotation despite the Cole injuries, but also with our opening day lineup as well. I'm very optimistic about both. And again, as Yankee fans, we're probably going to be optimistic until something bad happens, and then we're going to think the world is burning down. But that's just us as Yankee fans. That's me as a Yankee fan. One thing I want to address is Yuki says, why did the Yankees pass up on Snell, Bellinger, Martinez, and Chapman? Those prices are hard to pass up. They are, because they didn't get the big contracts that we thought they were. But JD Martinez, we wanted to get lefty, better left-hand batters. JD's a righty. JD's also older. JD also basically fits obviously produces better, but is a similar profile to what Stanton would bring us. What I don't want to bring on, I'm not saying JD is going to be a Stanton 2.0, but why bring on a power-hitting righty DH just as Stanton is when you already have Stanton? So that's why I feel like not, even though I know JD Martinez is probably going to put up good numbers again this year. And I think the Yankees need to focus on roster flexibility, and JD Martinez doesn't allow them to do that. Bellinger, no, because we got Verdugo, and quite honestly, not that I'm saying that they're comparable, but with us acquiring Soto and getting Verdugo, I'm content with that. And on top of that, why lock yourself on a long-term deal? Verdugo's going to be a free agent this offseason. I'd rather have someone that we could give up on this offseason, so then we could give shot to Jones and Dominguez that's going to come up. So that's kind of why even though Bellinger could pivot to first, but I do think the Yankees have good future options at first as well. Excuse me. And then with Chapman, that's the one that I think could have possibly happened, but his offense doesn't move me enough to want to advocate to acquire him. I personally don't think he's a good fit. And then with Snell, like I've said before in this episode, I think we have so much depth that we could tap into in the beginning of the season. Now, if Cole was out for the whole season or a full Tommy John and he would have been out for a season and a half to 2 seasons, then I would have seen the value of signing Snell, especially to that 2-year deal that he ended up agreeing to. So, that's a good point, Yuki, actually. That's a great point. Belly signed a 3-year deal with 2 opt-outs. He probably would have most likely would opt out after this season. That's a great point. Again, with the luxury tax, I see why the Yankees wouldn't. They would have to have paid double for Belly at the time that he signed. And again, we got Verdugo, so I'm not entirely mad. And then we have still Rizzo on the books and on the roster, which I'm expecting a great bounce back from him. Let's get a little bit of Juan Soto in the highlights here. As we move over to the third topic, we have season predictions. I want you guys to drop down now in the comments your season predictions. What is our record going to be? What is our record? Are we going to win the AL East? Are we going to make the wild card? Are we going to miss? Are we going to have another 82-80 season? Give me your predictions on the season records. If not, then give me your hot takes on players' success. I want numbers. I'm planning on, and for those of you that are not watching it live still, drop your hot takes down below. I want to address these. I may address these mid-season. I may address these at the end of the season on another catch-up episode. I think it'll be fun to kind of compare and contrast some of the successes in some of our predictions and some of our failures in some of our predictions. For me, listen. I tend to be an optimistic fan. I think we're going to get 94 wins this year. That puts us at, I believe, 94-68 or 92-70. That's going to be my range. I feel like that's going to be our record. I think we're going to make the wild card. I think that's no shot at the Yankees. I think that's just because we have such a strong AL East competition. I'm doing this because I am kind of nerfing my expectations or nerfing my feelings right now. You guys don't understand how excited I am about this season. From our young guys that I think have a lot to prove and are going to want to prove it. A lot of our veteran guys or just superstars like Juan Soto that have a lot to prove in their walk years. A lot of young guys in the minors that are putting pressure on some of these everyday players. It's a perfect storm to have up years for all of our players. So I'm excited to hopefully see majority of them live up to that higher expectation for themselves as they head into this walk year or with their career being on the line. So that's kind of us, but I don't want to, because of that, I don't want to say we're going to get 98 to 100 wins, but I do think 92, 94 wins. I think at the end of the day, we're going to make a wild card. Yuki says, did the Yankees show their hand too early for Soto? Yankees lost all leverage and can't negotiate with Soto. Soto wants $700 million. Are you talking about how, Yuki, are you talking about how the Yankees are just drooling over Soto being a part of the team and that's why they're tipping their hand? I could see it, but also you want to show that your appreciation for Soto. You want to show your appreciation for a guy. They'll feel valued and they'll want to stick with the team most likely. Not entirely, but that's only going to, I think, better. That's only going to better the camaraderie between the player and the team. And at the end of the day, who's not going to want to drool over Soto? So why try to hide or make this facade of, oh, yeah, Soto's cool, whatever, we'll see, which they have done. But at the same time, the players are going to admit when they're loving their boy, which is Juan Soto. So I think we're not really tipping our hand. Let's just embrace and enjoy Soto for the year that we have him. Because I know it sounds crazy to say we better re-sign him, but if we don't have him next year, I want to enjoy the 1 year that we have him. I love Soto so much, and he should be destined to be a Yankee. He said he wants $70 million. I'm not sure he never came out and said he wanted $70 million. Now Yuki says I would only pay $450 max for Soto. I believe that's roughly what he got from the Nationals. And he said he loved the Nationals. And he said he wanted to stay with the Nationals. And I have no doubt with a lot of these young guys coming up from the Nationals, granted, some of those guys came from the Soto trade, he probably would have wanted to stay and win a few more chips in his career with the Nationals. He said he loved being with the Nationals, and they offered him $450, and he said no. So not that I think he's going to get $700 million. He's not going to get much as Ohtani. I don't think so. Ohtani's a unicorn. Ohtani's one of a kind. If Soto had Gold Glove level defense, maybe we're talking about those type of numbers. Maybe. But with his, I'd argue mediocre. I don't know what the stats say, but I would say from the eye test, mediocre, slightly above average defense that's expected to only decline as his athleticism goes down as he ages. Though he's still very young. I think he's at most going to get $600 million. I think he may be getting $500 million, $550, $500 million the least, $550, and I think the Yankees should give it to him. I don't know how many years they may give him. He's going to be, I think, 26 heading into his free agent season. So maybe you're going to give him a 14-year, 13-year deal. Maybe a 13-year deal is probably better. Would be crazy to think if the Yankees come out and do their own deferral like the Dodgers did with Ohtani. You never know. But again, at the end of the day, that would only be the case if Juan Soto wants that, which he could do it because he's already making 30-something mil at 26 years old. He's set for life, and I'm kind of just spitballing here, but the Yankees should get Soto. I just don't think that Soto will get 450, even if it's from the Yankees, even if it's from another team. I don't think that's where his price is going to land. Also, I don't think it's going to be $700 million. I think it's going to be in between those two numbers. But yeah, I expect the Yankees to have that type of season, wild card season, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the playoffs as well. I expect Volpe to do much better on his average. I expect him to hit around 250 at least, if not 270. Very capable of going 30-30. I think Rizzo is going to beat. I'm being very optimistic here, but I think Rizzo is going to beat, if all is healthy, he's going to easily beat his home run plateau that he's had of 32 home runs most of his career. I think he's going to break that. Don't know if he's going to shatter it, but he's definitely going to break that. Again, like I said earlier, I think Stroman is going to have a great season on the cusp of a Cy Young season, and I think he's going to be very, very special. I think he's going to have one of, if not the best season of his career with the Yankees this year. I believe he's a pitcher's pitcher. He doesn't rely on velocity to beat guys, so I think he's going to be, his age, I don't think is going to be a concern as well. So I'm excited to see what Stroman's going to do. And again, I think he's going to step up, especially in the absence of Cole for those couple of months. Let me see if I have any more hot takes I want to get off my chest. I think that's about it. I think that's some of the bigger takes that I have. I think Glaber is going to reach 30 home runs. I think he's going to go crazy. I feel like people aren't talking enough about how his offseason, how his spring training has been, because he was so good for us last year. I think we've overlooked his spring training this year, but he's special. He's going to be, wow. He's going to make it tough for the Yankees to figure out whether they want to extend him or let him walk. So at this point, I think with the Peraza injuries, I know we got a few guys like Yorbit Vivas that may come up as well, but they're making it, Gleyber Torres is making it tough for them not to want to re-sign him in free agency. Don't think they will with them wanting to go after Soto as they should, but we'll see where that ends up. And that's a topic for another day. But I think that is going to be it. We had a fairly long episode today, 35 minutes. Mark, I want to make sure I address your topic. Mark Gates says, I can't wait for the Martian to get back with the Martian emoji. I love it. Yes. Guys, stay tuned. I have a few more things to talk about, but yes, I can't wait. Great point. I almost wanted to talk about that, but that's, thanks Yuki for tuning in. It was a great show, but yes, Mark Gates, so excited for the Martian. I'm always a little worried of what this outfield is going to look like. Would the Yankees want to trade Verdugo in the trade deadline with the Martian returning? That's a very, very realistic possibility. Unless the Yankees say no, I'm gonna believe it. Unless the Yankees say otherwise, so that's gonna be super excited to see an outfield with the Martian, Soto, and Judge. Man, Mark, you got me going. Mark Gates, that's awesome. I'm so excited for the Martian to get back, and then just to see the problem of the outfield with Spencer Jones creeping up anytime soon as well. So, one thing I also wanted to address is I got merch in the works. I know you guys kind of been seeing it down on the bottom of the screen here, but I've got merch in the works. It's not going to look like that on the screen. It's going to be much higher quality. Still going to be a good, reasonable price. Much higher quality, much cooler designs. I got some Soto shirts, Martian shirts, Judge shirts, Cole shirts. I got just real Yankee fan shirts. That real Yankee fan tee you saw me wear, I redid it. It looks so much cooler. Got Bronx banner caps going. Got one with this logo in the front, like you see here. Got one with this logo in the front here. Got hoodies. You guys let me know what kind of other merch you want to see. It's going to be coming out very, very, very soon. Who knows? I may try to get it out and get the shop going by opening day so you guys could start buying some opening day merch. But I love if you guys would support that if you'd like. It's going to be very, very awesome. Very, very exciting once I get that merch dropping. If you guys don't know about me, I have a a hidden passion for fashion. Hidden passion for fashion, but for design, for streetwear, for merch, for style. So I'm putting a lot of effort. Also do a little bit of graphic design, so I'm making these designs myself as well. I hope you guys could support your boy. And at the end of the day, support it if you enjoy the content. Support it if you enjoy everything that I'm bringing you. Support it if you enjoy just the merch. I don't want you to feel pressured because I'm asking only if you truly enjoy it and like it. So, Yuki, great point, and that's something that I valued so much. Yuki says every time I buy merch, the t-shirts are cool and all for the first time, but then once I wash them, the designs get destroyed. Yuki, I agree with you, and this is something that irks me. In fact, the t-shirts that the first go around of shirts that I created were just like that. They were pilling, stitching was coming loose. I'm gonna be real with you. The graphics were getting a little flaky, a little too early, because that's natural with graphic tees, but it was a little too early. And I said, no, let me get back to the drawing board. I got different Garmin dyed t-shirts, different printing styles. I went with a different source for printing and for merch. So Yuki, trust me. I've been washing my merch. I've been testing them out. I'm not saying they're gonna last you a lifetime, but that was my first point in all of this, was to get merch that is affordable, realistic prices, cool designs, but at the end of the day are designs that hold up. So I'll make sure it's worth it for you guys, trust me, because that's a feeling I also hate, Yuki. It's going to withhold the 1 wash, 2 wash, 3 washes. I'm going to make sure of it. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for hearing my rant. If you like everything, make sure you subscribe down below, share along. So this is going to be up on the channel for future. So if you guys want to tune back and see everything again, let me know if you're liking the show. But have a great afternoon. Have a great night, everyone. So glad you were able to tune in on a Sunday. I normally don't do Sundays. I do Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. So be ready for the next show, Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, long episode, but super, super fun talking to you, Yuki. See you, Yuki. See you, Mark Gates. See you, Donnie Clark. See you, Brandon Moore. So awesome to chat with you guys. And hopefully for those of you that watch after, I hope I get to see you live next time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. Peace and be blessed.